I think the first fundamental is you minimize your inputs. That's just so you're having to bring less material into the system, whatever it is, because things that you have to bring from the outside are by their very nature less sustainable, and less sustainable the further you have to bring them from. So this farm is a model of very little inputs. Like Bill and Stacy like to say, cows have legs, grass has roots. Why do we have cows standing in a barn and we bring them grass? Let the cows go out and eat the grass where it's rooted in the ground. Pretty simple stuff.
From raw material, gets processed, gets taken out to use as raw material elsewhere, and then comes back in another form of raw material that then gets put back into your bellies.
We're coming out of kind of an infantile understanding, I think, of agriculture, you know, and I think most of us believe that it's pretty silly to think that we can develop a sustainable form of soil-based agriculture by pouring poison on it.
Early on in the process, we realized that we're going to have a bunch of the spent grain left over. When you make beer, you use grain. On average, each batch that we brew next door has 400 pounds of raw material in the form of grain. You have all this material that farmers buy on a daily basis to put it all together. Okay, they have to buy the feed for the cattle, for the chickens, for whatever they may be growing out there, whatever they may be raising. It's a high quality grain. Sure, we've cracked it and taken some of the sugars out of it, but very much healthy, good tasting food for the cattle. So of course it fits right in with the whole picture. Well, if we're making the beer, making this, giving this grain or this extra feed off to the cattle, well, why not pull that cattle right back into your restaurant?
We developed the capacity to modify the season by fooling Mother Nature into thinking that underneath a tunnel it was July, or maybe not July, but May, you know, or something like that. And so that was the next big step.
Well, I grew up in a town in northern Ohio called Barberton. It's where Yoder brothers are from. And Yoder and the south side of Barberton was nothing but masses of greenhouses, and they were all plate glass, and there was hundreds of them, one after another, of all these greenhouses. And you couldn't do that. You couldn't afford to even begin to do that today. So the first thing that happened was plastic came on, and that's about the good thing that I can say about plastic is that, man, it's great for greenhouses.
Now we use lots of greenhouses and row covers and black plastic mulch, drip irrigation, things like that weren't around in my grandfather's time.
The greenhouses are predominantly 30 by 96, and that provides enough geothermal radiation and heat gain during the day, because in the light, even if there's even a moderate amount of light out, the houses will get to 60 no matter how cold it is outside.
And they really improve the way we do things. The season lasts longer, we are able to get more per acre, and it's a better quality product.
I think in recent years, what we're seeing are more people who have what are called high tunnels. And there are 2 organic growers in our area now who have a minimum of 6 high tunnels. I expect that is going to proliferate into the future, to the point where the winter market won't be quite as busy as the summer market, but it's going to be a lot busier than it is right now.
Plants produce sugar in the wintertime as antifreeze. It keeps them from freezing, and so everything is so much sweeter.
we've created this robust local food economy in this section of Ohio because we didn't have a lot of other resources, but we did have farmland. We had diversified agriculture. We had a lot of producers and farmers who dedicated themselves to organic transition in the 80s and 90s and even in the last 10 years.
Well over a decade, I would say probably close to 2 decades now, AceNet has been very, very instrumental in training entrepreneurs so that the entrepreneur will have some idea of what's involved in starting a business.
We employ 30 full-time people, most of them here in Meigs County, one of the most underemployed and impoverished counties in the state of Ohio. We've got a $750 million payroll. So in terms of an economic model, we're pushing the economics back to having the farmer get more for the milk. And at the same time, by being local, we're able to provide milk faster, fresher, to the point that we don't even homogenize our milk.
One of the things that has helped us, Dan, our farm manager, had worked at a couple other farms and was familiar with the concept of CSA, Community Supported Agriculture. It didn't take too long before you realize, oh, this is nice. You've got this, people are investing in your farm up front, and so it immediately became apparent that we're less dependent on traditional funding sources like banks. In the last 6 years, we've gone from being about a 30-30-30 mix of CSA to wholesale to retail or direct marketing, and now our CSA is probably a little over half of our income.
2/3 of all new jobs are created by small businesses like ours. And yet, I heard the new economic development director of our new privatized Ohio Economic Development Department say that their strategy was to go to the 100 biggest businesses in Ohio and see what they needed for job growth. So it's very difficult to keep the existing successful large corporations from continuing to manipulate our government at a federal and a state level to the benefit of the larger corporations.
It's patience, it's why food is slow money. You're not going to get rich fast. You're going to have a tremendous life. You're going to meet wonderful people. Your wealth is not going to be financial, though. Not very likely, and you have to be honest about that. But for all the things that fluctuate, stock market, gold, diamonds, anything, we all need food.
The biggest obstacle that small farms like this face right now is getting everybody up to living wage standards, and that is because food still is too cheap. It's still there's still other factors in the background that make it too cheap.
We have to educate the people to realize what the true costs of food are in the United States. A large part of their cost is shipping food, an average distance in the United States, 1,600 miles. That's the average distance that food travels in the United States. That takes a lot of energy. All of those highways that are being kept in repair, who pays for that? People. They're being destroyed by all of these trucks going back and forth, an average distance of 1,600 miles. People are paying for that, and at some point in time, it's simply going to be economically unviable for us to continue this stupid form of agriculture that we have right now. And we're going to develop a fully sustainable agriculture. And that's not going to happen, in a year or two or even 10 years. But it's going to happen.
It's amazing. There's something about the community that attracts, the kinds of people that support things like, local food production. It's interesting if you talk to folks, you say, gee, how long have you been in Athens? And you get really funny looks. they'll say, well, I came here as a student 30 years. I didn't realize it's been 30 years, hasn't it? Or I came here as a spouse, or I came here as this, and decided it was just a nice place to stay. A lot of people have moved away and come back.
I look at the last 5 years and things are just going gangbusters. We're growing exponentially. And I think there's more and more recognition, not just in Ohio, but nationally, what we've been able to achieve. So how have we done it? Well, I think some of the foundations have been this commitment to cooperativism. What we've discovered is when we can work more collaboratively, if not cooperatively, we're really able to reach more markets.
So it's a community spirit that kind of wove it together and became the joint glue to make all this happen. But a lot of little things over time fit into place, and it's been going on for a long time, and you've had basically you're starting the second generation of a lot of people now that have been entrepreneurs in our farmers market that are taking over from the people that originally started. The next generation's coming along, and I think once you get past that second or third generation, you're going to see an institution that lasts for a very long time.
I would name the progressive attitude of this community as perhaps the most important factor that has contributed to the success of our market.
We love what we do, we enjoy it, we enjoy our customers, we enjoy the fellowship with our farmers market customers. I mean, like I said, I'm in my late 50s, I've farmed all my life. Never seen the appreciation from customers that I see now. Nobody knew who I was. Neighbors knew I farmed, but that was it. And now people know our quality, know our name brand, and are seeking out what we have, and they thank us for it.
Working with each other is the cooperative spirit that we've got in Athens seems to be what makes it work. Like having the restaurants buy from the local farmers and then the farmers market, all those ways that we vote with our dollars. I mean, that's what I think keeps this thing going.
A lot of the market vendors are first generation in Athens County. Very little difference in the mindset of people. We have different backgrounds, different philosophies of life, but we're all there for a common goal, and that is to supply good quality local food to our customers.
We have students, we have retired professors, we have people of all different income levels and experiences and backgrounds. And so when you have everyone together in a community garden, all of those stereotypes that people might have developed really start to break down.
One of my favorite times, and it's a shame because it was the perfect message that we like to see out here, was the fact that we had 3 people standing over there just focused on the food. One was an Amish gentleman that looked right off the Quaker Oats box, a dreadlock kid from OU, about 6'4", 6'5", and an English farmer with the American flag ball cap, bib overalls, and white t-shirt and crew cut. And as different as their backgrounds, as their cultures are, they were focused on the food and leaning on each other. And what a wonderful opportunity to see that it overcomes all this divisiveness that we see today.
We're always looking for opportunities to, utilize what we're blessed with here in Appalachia, and then, kind of contribute to our community, because there's a lot of poverty around here, and, there's not a lot of opportunities for people. So these are just little ways to kind of integrate ourselves into our community, and then, get that and integrate it into people's bellies.
And without farmers, you can have all the oil you want, all the nuclear power you want, all of whatever you're thinking, but it's not going to feed us.
If we can take away the power of money by relying instead on people and on services and goods that we are creating and sharing at the local level, I think that'll be one way to protect and preserve what's great about our community. And any community could do that. I just feel like Athens is better prepared to do that.
Yeah, this is economic development. Yeah, this is making a difference in my neighbors' lives. Yeah, this is preserving farmland and creating a safer environment for my kids and their kids, and the next generation of families who are going to reside in these beautiful foothills of Appalachia, Ohio. We are the people we've been waiting for.